Good day, Podcast Pete or Podcaster Pete Kane on the Fractional Executive Podcast. Now, our Fractional Executive Podcast are tied up today. So I thought I would bring you something. If you want to get to be a fractional mindset executive, you have to understand buy back your time. This is absolutely the best book I've ever read, and I have thousands. Have I read all 1,000? Well, maybe the first chapter or some of them, but not all of them cover to cover. My partner Jeff, thank you, Jeff, for sending it to me, read this from cover to cover, got it on audio, marked it up like I was like color pencils, zeroing things, writing things, took Chat GPT and I took the summary of it, applied it, which is critical. My retention in the last year or two is off the chain. Why? I've learned how to retain. I've learned how to grow. I've learned how to get better. Personal development is critical. I'll maybe get this on here before this, but I want you, if you're a podcaster, has been on our show, you can take advantage of this. I haven't been implementing this over the last few weeks. Well, actually, this is probably the second week. To take 10 hours, which let's just say for the sake of this podcast is a $10 an hour, which is hard to find that anyway in the US exactly. I was trying to hire people at 20, I couldn't. So finding somebody to work 10 hours a week ain't easy because the good ones are gone. But if you could take email management and calendar management off your plate and buy back 10 hours of time a week, and you can take those 10 hours because you're still going to work, but you're going to work at a higher level and work with your most, top percentage of your work. So whatever you do, find out what you do best and do more of it. You have to definitely work with your clients. So maybe you take your top 5 clients and spend more time with them because you're not returning emails or trying to manage your calendar, which is an activity that has a ceiling on it of what is worth. So have that outsourced to buy back the time. So one, I want you to get this book, Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell. I will challenge anybody to say it's not the best book they've ever ever read. Because if you can intentionally buy back your time and start with an executive assistant, wow, like 2 weeks, I'm like pinching myself in excitement and reality, like this can't be. But when you take off your brain activities that consume you, and look, I've heard a lot of times people, it only takes me 5 minutes. Well, it's not really accurate because 5 minutes to your brain, if you're switching back and forth and doing things like checking your email first thing in the morning, you're checking other people's problems. And the studies say that you're 30% less effective than the person that doesn't do that the first thing. Plan, meditate, do the activities that'll help you be impactful. Don't take on everybody else's problems through email. Have somebody manage it. Only see the emails that are most important. And there's a system to it. So we can make an impact in your business. And it starts with taking that off your plate, not just outsourcing, but it's physically buying back your time so you can do better things with that time. Because if somebody's managing 4 calendars, they're pretty darn good at it. And Rolando is, because that's what he does. That's how he can become more efficient for you. Managing it, technology, managing it, and thinking that all the time gives him the mindset to be the best. And if he's focusing on that, you're being more productive in the other areas that you're leveling up. So I want to encourage you, get the book. Now let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I, because we did not have, yeah, I think we can. Let's try it. What the heck? Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Yeah, dang. Okay. So this is a gentleman, Dan Martell. He runs a SaaS academy, also several businesses. He had to learn it. His story is a good one. There's a pain line. And what does that mean? Well, when you look at the activities you do, if you can find out where your pain line went, not to get in too deep with it, but once you determine this and are intentional about your pain line, you're able to relieve the pain with an intentional strategy. The 5-time assessment. Now, when you look at this, you have people like the staffer, the speed demon, the supervisor, the saver, the self-medicate. No, well, whatever. So these are assessments. What are you? Are you the speed demon? Just has to get through things real quick. Well, you got to know who you are and what you're dealing with. So this is the buyback loop. This really talks about where you're going to see once you solve the pain and you realize that you do the audit, you do the transfer, then you fill the position. All of a sudden, the arrow, what do they call it? A hockey stick. Almost the hockey stick starts to affect. So that buyback loop is important. It's intentional. You have the pain, you audit where you are, you transfer it, you fill it, and then all of a sudden you're going to see your productivity and whatever you're able to get done. Dan talks about something I want to share with you. Oprah works 2 hours a day. She's worth $3 billion. Do you think that works? No, she's only working 2 hours a day. Let me tell you, the 2 hours that she's working is the highest level of decision making. So everything else she's doing is preparing herself to make, it's almost like everybody tees up, if I can use a golf term, only the highest level of decisions for Oprah. So she's only solving the highest level, not managing her calendar, not doing all these other things that will distract us. So when you think of your day, start being more intentional about finding the pain point, do an audit, transfer, fill, and then watch it grow. So there is a buyback formula, and you divide 2,000 into your income, you get a number, and that's how you apply it, not to go in details about it. But one thing I want, this is the 95. Let me see, this is the drip quadrant. You have to be in this quadrant as much as possible. That's why you have a heart and a dollar sign. You fill your heart with activities that are going to generate the most revenue. Now, why? If you're like, I'm not a money person, well, you better learn how to be, because the more you make, you can give away if you don't want it. But you have to be operating in this. Is the investment important? Yes. Maybe doing a podcast could be an investment. But you got to learn how to delegate. You got to learn to move up into quadrants where they call it a replacement ladder. You got to start replacing activities on your calendar, so you're not so stressed out and running around. People, you ask them, how you doing? Oh, busier than a one arm paper hanger or whatever they say. Everybody can be busy. I mean, that's easy. Busy. Does that mean productive? No, it doesn't. So I just want you to look at all the different resources that are in this book. Time, energy, audit. You have to absolutely audit your energy. You have to have the most energy for the highest level of activities. So if you're spending time in the productivity area and you have the highest energy, you're going to get more done with things that are going to move the needle in the biggest way. So you can do that in there. There is so many. The replacement ladder, incredible. Talked about that. And there's one other thing. So when we talk about a framework, you always got to think frameworks. This is the framework to manage your email system. And that ties into your calendar. Look at anybody's calendar and you can see what their priorities are. And that's so important to manage your calendar in such a way that you're getting the highest activities done. And you can do that by finding somebody to buy back that time. So that's all I really wanted to cover today. And I think, let me see if I can find this. Okay, I want to do one more thing. Yes, I can. Do. Buyback. Nope, I don't have it on there. Okay. Well, anyway, growth day, personal development. If you're not into growing every single day, there are people that are. And if you're a member of Growth Day, you know what I mean. If you're not a member, you can go to, because we take a percentage of they have an ambassador program, I guess you'd call it, or affiliate, whatever you want to say. And if you go to podcasterpkane.com, you'll see personal development. Go in there. It's free for 14 days. Well, not 5, 14. 14, put a 1 in front of there. 14 days. How can you go wrong? 14 days. You get it for free. The guy, Brendan, has been consulting with presidents, CEOs, celebrities, Oprah, it's those who 20 years, 300,000 people in there. And if you like the 14 days, $29 a month, $1 a day to invest in you. Don't you think you're a good investment? Absolutely, you are. So invest in yourself. Go on there, check it out, listen to it for 14 days, experience Brendan talking to you every single day. I've not missed since I found out about it 6 months ago. So dive in, learn, grow, be a part of the community. I could talk for another hour on the value that you get out of there. High performance habits, you get as part of your community membership. I mean, high performance. You want to be a high performer. So I want to thank you for listening. But if I can be of service to you, you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, because you cannot get the program, the buyback, unless you're a guest on my podcast. And it's a exclusive. It's not offered to everybody. There's a reason why, but I want to challenge you to come on our podcast, tell your story, and we'll see how you can appreciate the community that we're creating here at Podcaster Pete. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And share this with anybody you think could benefit, especially my Facebook community. We need 50 followers. Gosh, we got to get 50 by the end of the week so we can stream to Facebook. Thank you.